And the one place in your body where you're allowed to have tension is the fingers. So everything else, including hara, has to be completely relaxed. But O-sensei taught the degree of power that's given to you, that's how much power you put back in your fingers. And the reason for this is the energy coming to me, I want to send back this way, but I don't want to oppose him. So I'm sending that energy back so that I don't have all that energy just coming to me. I'm going to take that, what he's giving me, out my elbow, but I'm going to give it back to him here. It's coming here. There's an old practice in before Aikido training even, just for sending out, practicing this, sending out the ki. That's the moment your partner grasps you, you open your hand, and you're coming. And we're going to work more with this in detail, but try not to push on him at all. Don't push into him, don't push down, don't push in any direction, just open your hand. That way you can completely relax your shoulder and send your breath out your palm. Now if you want to bring him down, what you're going to do is going to bend your legs instead. Okay? And because I'm relaxed, the entire weight of my body is carried in my arm. If I put some power in my arm now, all I have is that power. When I completely relax and just let the weight of my arm rest, my entire body is there. So let's just practice this a little bit. The idea is if you do this with the right feeling, when he grasps you, he should actually be repelled backwards. You're coming in. Okay. This is the same side. And check yourself. If your hand is like this, where is your palm going? Your energy is going over here. Push. See where that's going? But if this is here, now my palm's energy is going to him. If I put my back of my hand against his wrist, now what happens? Feel that? So you shouldn't have any idea about manipulating him. Just send your palm energy in that direction. Okay, go ahead, try. The words and the reality are never the same thing, right? You know that, right? Anything. Maybe some people actually believe the word is the same thing as the reality, but it's not. Okay? So sometimes you need to have it reinforced over and over again because the word doesn't register as the reality. Okay? For example, if you say, okay, concentrate up and down, same time. You can try that for 6 months. Not do it because your image is not right. Right? Then when you finally get it, you say, oh, up and down. The words and the reality came together. Right? So when I say this hand, I don't mean this hand. I don't mean, right? And when I say that the weight of your arm rests on your partner, that means absolutely no pushing down and no holding up. The weight of your arm, nothing more, nothing less. Right. Because that's the only way it's going to be completely relaxed. Unless it's completely relaxed, I can't get my hara's ki through to him. All right? So this time you come in here, move. Now what happens if I do that? Yeah. So are people doing this kind of training? This is something wrong. Something on the transmission got screwed up along the way. Right? You see here. Just move. So I'm finished with my tenkan before this hand comes up. Ki to him. And this is a very basic way of training. I'm going to show you more dynamic in a bit, but let's just take this open and move. And see how you can make this come last. Relax. And if you're doing it good, somebody really strong like Josh, or somebody little tiny person, come here. Your feeling should be exactly the same. Right? Your feeling is, oh, she's not so strong as him. I don't need to work so. No, because you're not doing anything in either case. You're moving your own. She's got nothing to do with it. He's got nothing to do with it. I'm just doing Aiki. Isn't it? Okay, go ahead, try. So here's the next part, and this I'm showing you classical form first. You know, there's all kinds of variations, and when you're moving quickly, you don't get classical form. You know, but this is classical form. You go back and watch O-sensei videos. This is classical form, right? His katate dori iriminage is coming, right? So what you probably don't notice when I do that is that because you're used to doing this with an arm that stays the same extension, it doesn't. This bends completely. When I finish, I'm not here, I'm here. When you don't do that, what happens is at a certain point you're running into his power here. But if you bend that, I didn't move that spot. I went around it. But I captured his ki in doing it. Now, since I'm relaxed, if I just drop my elbow, okay, and when you bring him down, if there's any increase in this pressure on him, it's really not working. If there's any increase, he'll fight against it or he'll let it go, one of the two, either way. But if there's no increase in pressure, he can't fight and he can't let go. So bend. Oh, how do you do that? He's grabbing my forearm. I'm not going to move my forearm. I'm moving my elbow. Okay. So let's take it nice and slowly. Move. Hey, go ahead. Too much power makes you foolish, right? So let's try one finger. Oh yeah, you get to have two fingers. Right? Close the rest of it, right? Now, he can tell very easily if I'm putting any power, right? So if I'm putting power, you got to say, right? If this pressure is getting stronger, right?
I'm paying attention.
Right? This is the same thing, only he's holding on, the same thing, but this sometimes you have a lot of power so you don't get the sensitivity. This way you know if you're using any power. If you push down, right? Hey, go ahead. I'd say the Kokyu is the foundation of everything, right? Because, especially internal arts, because Kokyu builds a ki, right? But the beginning of building ki is building a ki in the hara, because this is a source of the body's vitality, right? Then you have to get it to the periphery, at least, if not beyond. So if you can't get your consciousness to the end of your fingers, your ki is never going to get there. You have to practice this. Later you get really good, it can be like this, doesn't matter, because your intention is so natural that, right? But at the beginning, you need this. Okay? Now let's work with this controlling the elbow a little more. So how about Ryote Tori? Move. Right? Again, it's just strong. This is kind of here. People put the pressure on the point. No. Right? So this is a, okay, here. Power is from here to here. Direction is to here. This is putting power here. Then if I use both hands, You know, like a shihonage. How I'm controlling this point. Strong? Got it? Yeah. If I use any forcefulness going out, it never work. This movement, don't interrupt this point. Okay. Here you go. Hey, are you coming here? I try to do slow because I want you to see what's happening. And so this is the most fundamental I showed last night, this way, right? And become kind of Ura. More practical, realistic later once you got that. Now you make both sides move together. Come. Stand. My teacher is always this way, Yamaguchi Sensei. Come. You can see this spot still doesn't move much. I'm not doing that. Spot stays, we both move. This is like a spear movement. Move. Right? Oh, it's closing, open. Closing, open. Hey, go ahead, please. Last night, we worked this. When I show you something, it's not a technique. It's all techniques. So don't say, oh, that was in that technique. It doesn't apply here. Right? I never teach technique. Now I'm teaching movement. Right? So when I came to this technique, now you're thinking about going this way. This is a collision. No, this is coming here. I don't need to move. I can do the whole thing without moving. Moving just makes it more dynamic. But this rolling the wheel. Rolling the wheel. Rolling the wheel. Understand? Remember we did last night? You remember, right? Right? Well, this. When you do this, if the pressure on his hand becomes greater and greater, you're actually putting energy in this direction. Energy stays right here. Same pressure. So when it happened quickly, you move. Move. So his balance is down. Now, to open. Hey, go ahead, please. It's more strength makes easier to see the principle sometimes, and sometimes very little is good too. But so use the two hands, right? So if I just turn, like Tohei Sensei said, there's space between skin and bone. It doesn't work. If I put the pressure, I run into his power. So if I turn, but don't put pressure, just turn this big wheel. See, the pressure is not increased. And this has got a lot to do with you must have the natural weight. If you're pushing down, this makes a collision. If you're holding up, that's just turning. Is that? No influence. Natural weight. All right? Can you understand it? Right? No pushing down, no holding up. taking a break.